Thank you, colleagues. It's been a fantastic couple of days, and we'll close now with some final remarks. So please allow me to welcome to the stage Sergio Colina, Director General for Sustainable Development Policy from the Government of Spain, Marcos Neto, Assistant Secretary General and Director of the Bureau of Policy and Programme Support from UNDP, and Andrea Costafreda, the Director General for International Cooperation from the Government of Catalonia, to share their closing thoughts.
Funciona, sí, se me oye, ¿no? Nada, bueno, en primer lugar, pues, por supuesto, permítanme, por favor, empezar expresando mi agradecimiento, nuestro agradecimiento sincero a todos ustedes por la participación activa, enriquecedora y por el compromiso de participar en estas dos jornadas. Como decía Marcos el otro día, seguro que todos tenían invitaciones para estar en Davos y han elegido estar aquí con nosotros, así que muchas gracias por eso y, por supuesto, también a Naciones Unidas, al PNUD, por su propuesta de celebrar estas jornadas en España, en la ciudad de Barcelona, y, por supuesto, a la Generalitat de Cataluña también, pues, por su generosidad y por los esfuerzos para hacer posible hacer estas jornadas en un tiempo récord, además, me consta, y en un entorno pues, tan espectacular como el que hemos podido disfrutar estos días. No voy a tratar de hacer otro resumen, otro wrap-up de lo mucho que ha ocurrido en estos 2 días, pero sí creo importante pues, poner en valor que hemos tenido ocasión a través de los paneles, de las reuniones paralelas y demás, al final abordar un tema que es crucial y que nos conecta con la conferencia de Sevilla, a la que me referiré más adelante, que es cómo contribuimos desde cada uno de nuestros lugares, desde nuestro valor añadido, como actores involucrados en la cooperación para el desarrollo sostenible, en contribuir a cerrar esa brecha, ese gap de financiación, que sin duda es bueno, pues un obstáculo fundamental para el cumplimiento efectivo de los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible en el horizonte, en la fecha acordada por la comunidad internacional para ello, ¿no? Y creo que es importante recordar que los INFFs pues son una herramienta importante para ello. Como también suele recordar Marcos, no es una fórmula mágica, no van a resolver todos los problemas, pero sin duda son una herramienta potente para ese logro, que al final es ese objetivo de lograr cerrar esas brechas de financiación y lograr movilizar todos los recursos necesarios de forma eficaz, que en último extremo es lo que nos convoca aquí a todos. Pero bueno, hemos podido entrar en muchos más detalles, hemos podido profundizar en cómo estos INFFs pueden seguir avanzando, cómo pueden ayudarnos a poner en marcha, a identificar enfoques integradores para alinear recursos con prioridades nacionales determinadas por los propios países, a la vez que promovemos alianzas, colaboraciones entre actores diversos y maximizamos los impactos de nuestras acciones a través de ello. Creo que ha sido interesante poder escuchar experiencias concretas, inspiradoras, de países que ya han emprendido esa experiencia de elaborar con el apoyo de la facilidad de todos los socios estos marcos y también de seguir explorando ideas para el futuro de cómo avanzar mejor en esas fórmulas innovadoras para movilizar inversiones públicas, privadas, fortalecer capacidades allá donde sea necesario, siempre a partir de la demanda de los propios países. Hemos hablado también de temas más generales, del futuro de la ayuda oficial al desarrollo, de la ODE y su rol específico como catalizador, como apalancador, como recurso que llega allá donde no pueden llegar otros, pero también cuál va a ser su papel en un contexto en los próximos años que apuntan a escenarios restrictivos. Cómo avanzar en integrar el enfoque de género, el enfoque de localización y, por tanto, la incorporación de gobiernos locales y regionales, pero también de la territorialización de los ODS, cómo alinear instituciones financieras y bancos multilaterales de desarrollo con otros organismos multilaterales de desarrollo sostenible y, en definitiva, cómo avanzar desde esa semilla que estaba en Addis, ¿no?, que era la mención a estos marcos integrados de financiación, a ese momento que esperamos que sea Sevilla, ¿no?, en que ya de florecimiento pleno de esta herramienta y, por tanto, un momento más oportuno que nunca para tener esta reflexión estratégica con todos los actores sobre cuál puede ser el futuro de esta herramienta, qué es lo que nos ha dado y qué es lo que nos puede dar y cómo podemos asegurarnos que Sevilla también sea el espacio para consolidar los logros y para seguir avanzando. Siempre es fundamental seguir reconociendo que todo esto pues solo es posible por el compromiso de una pluralidad muy amplia de actores, y creo que estas jornadas pues demuestran que ese compromiso sigue, que ese compromiso se expande, y creo que eso son buenas noticias, ¿no? Para España, esta reunión creo que también se inserta, como decía al principio, en ese camino hacia Sevilla, hacia la cuarta conferencia de financiación para el desarrollo que tenemos el honor y el placer de acoger en julio de este año en nuestro país. Y, por tanto, bueno, como país anfitrión estamos tratando de hacer todo lo posible para aportar, hacer realidad todo el potencial que creo que todos vemos en esa conferencia que tendrá lugar 10 años después de la última, que se celebró en Etiopía en 2015, y a 5 años del horizonte 2030, ¿no? Por lo tanto, bueno, de nuevo agradecer a los socios, al PNUD, por proponer hacer este encuentro aquí ahora, poder hacerlo con aquel equipo más reducido de actores que han estado implicados en la iniciativa desde el principio, pero también con todos los actores que se han ido incorporando al proyecto en una u otra capacidad. Y, por tanto, bueno, agradecer el momento, la oportunidad, el balance, pero también todo el espacio para reflexión y proyección estratégica que hemos tenido en estos días, y bueno, invitarles a seguir trabajando todos juntos, de entrada para hacer que el camino a Sevilla sea un éxito, y, por supuesto, para seguir trabajando a partir de lo que salga de Sevilla para hacer realidad los ODS. Así que muchas gracias, y saben que pueden seguir también contando con nosotros.
Muchas gracias, Sergio. Un placer increíble poder compartir este cierre con vos. Colleagues, friends, it's an important 2 days. I think it's a milestone 2 days, not only for its own learning and for its own sharing and review of where the INFF has been and it is, but in the context of the route to Seville, the way forward to Seville. And I think it's clear that countries have a fundamental critical role in defining their own financial priorities. And the INFF is, no doubt about it, a useful, not perfect, but useful and important document to crystallize countries' leadership in aligning finance with the SDGs. We have heard in those 2 days the INFFs are increasingly becoming that essential piece of document. We've heard many examples from more than 20 countries represented here, how INFF are unlocking and generating greater sustainable development impact, from financing for the SDGs, the NDCs, the NBSAPs, as a potential transformative element that this approach and this tool has. We have the opportunity to scale this success through the FFT4 outcome this year. And allow me to share 3 key takeaways with you. First, finance is not, should not, and if it is, we've got a problem, an end in itself. Finance must always be a tool, for something much more profound, which is this transformation of our societies, the SDGs, the NDCs, and whatever you, governments, choose with your citizens to make a priority. 2, we must recognize and support the power of country leadership in the finance for development agenda, alongside necessary reforms of the international financial architecture. As we have seen over those 2 days, leaders at the national, subnational level are innovators. We must strengthen our commitment to empower and equip those leaders, local institutions, and align our efforts at the country level behind sovereign priorities. Thirdly, our discussions over the past 2 days have reinforced that partnerships and cooperations are essential to mobilize the resources and expertise needed to achieve the SDGs. INFFs provide a platform for enhanced collaboration, bringing together development institutions, MDBs, private sector, civil society, to align efforts and maximize impact. As we look ahead, we must commit to a shared vision for financing sustainable development. INFFs are central to how we align finance with development priorities at the national level. Together, we must continue to strengthen our efforts to ensure that no one is left behind. From our part, as the United Nations Development Programme, and on behalf of the INFF Facility, with UNICEF, OECD, DESA, and our donor partners and countries, we stand ready to support countries in this endeavor, to bring partners together and to scale up our efforts to be action-ready for the renewed global financing framework from Seville onwards. Before I close, I would like to thank everyone that made this meeting a success. I'd like to thank you who took time to come to this wonderful, beautiful city in this royal palace. There's no other way to say it, it's a royal palace, right? But also, you know, my team and UNDP, Tom and his team and Tim, you know, thank you very much for the hard work throughout the years and for this. Let me thank the governments that are here, colleagues from the UN system, Oliver, DESA, colleagues from UNICEF, you know, and others. Delighted to see civil society here. I had a chance to talk to colleagues from civil society. I'm delighted that you came, delighted that you're here, that you keep us honest. Please don't ever stop the role that you play. Private sector, MDBs, and others here. Your continued commitment to collaboration is critical. We are stronger when we work together. Let us leave this meeting with a renewed commitment to strengthen partnership and accelerate country leadership in finance for development. Let me also not forget, and for a moment I was going to forget, this is what happened when they write the speech and you don't read the speech, right? That we are only here in this royal palace, and we owe that to the government of Spain, you know, to Sergio, to the Secretary of State who was with us, to the colleagues from ISD, and to the Generalitat of Catalonia, right? That has been an amazing host, so thank you for having been integral to the success of this event and going forward on that. We must leverage the INFF to catalyze investment in social, economic, and environmental priorities. We must go back to the roots of 1987, the Brundtland Report, sustainable development. This is about this. This is about the goals. This is about the Paris Agreement. This is about the future of development of our societies. With that, I thank you again to your dedication, to your support. As Sergio, I ask us and others that you can bring on to stay together between now and Seville and after Seville, so we can actually deliver the necessary financial resources for the Sustainable Development Goals in the next 5 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I'm not going to speak in Catalan. Dear ambassadors, United Nations representatives, institutional representatives, members of civil society, representatives of the private sector, and distinguished guests, dear colleagues. On behalf of the Government of Catalonia, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the UNDP and the Spanish government, but also to the attendees and participants, both in person and virtually, for making this possible in Palau Real de Pedralbes. It's an immense honor to have hosted this event here in Catalonia. a territory deeply committed to sustainable development and international cooperation. These last 2 days have allowed us to discuss the major challenges and opportunities to transform the current financial model and move forward towards a system that is more efficient, inclusive, and coherent with local, national, and global priorities. This is clearly a critical issue, as reflected in the zero draft of the outcome document to be adopted at the 4th Financing for Development Conference in Seville. We are on the route of this unique opportunity to update and reaffirm the global commitment to a financial system aligned with the 2030 agenda, where integrated financial frameworks play a central role. These 2 days of the INFF Facility Partner Meeting concludes with a deep sense of urgency, but also hope. As we have been discussing these days, the global goals of the 2030 Agenda and the Paris Agreement cannot be achieved without decisive action and regarding finance. Imagine the European reconstruction after the Second World War without a Marshall Plan. It wouldn't be possible. We need to talk about money and finance. The local and regional governments have an essential role in this process. They are the ones closest to the real needs of communities, providing essential services, leading investments in infrastructure, and promoting transformative policies. From Catalonia, as a regional government, we are very aware of this role, and we consider that strengthening local finances and fostering inclusive and multi-level alliances are essential to achieve these shared goals. More than 72% of the Sustainable Development Goals require the active participation of local and regional governments, and 70% of climate solutions are under their jurisdiction. Catalonia understands the importance of strengthening local finances and fostering inclusive alliances that integrate territorial perspective into financial planning. We are committed to contributing to work in this line with these efforts, taking advantage of initiatives such as the Local Coalition 2030 and the 2030 Alliance in Catalonia to advance to the localization of SDGs and playing an active role in the road to Seville. Let me talk about 3 main initiatives, and I think that my counselor was talking about this yesterday. The Catalan government reaffirms the commitment to increase our ODA, Official Development Assistance, from the current 0.25 to the 0.7% in 2030, as is set in our direction plan. Second, we will be proactively supporting a local and regional government alliance in decentralized cooperation in the road to Seville. And 3, we will continue supporting multilateral initiatives such as the one that is convoking today, as these days in Pedralbes, committed with the Finance for Development agenda. The Summit of the Future, held in New York last September, addressed the worrying state of progress of the Sustainable Development Goals, highlighting that only 17% of the targets have been achieved. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stressed the urgent need for a global rescue plan to accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda. He also highlighted that investing in sustainable development is not a matter of goodwill, but is at the root of the long-term global prosperity. The summit also emphasized the need to reform the international finance architecture, to strengthen the voice and representation of developing countries, allowing them to finance themselves in a sustainable manner. In the road to Seville, we are talking about global and domestic fiscal commitments, restructuring debt, putting the private investment and trade to work towards this global and national and local shared prosperity. These reforms are essential to address global challenges such as global warming, poverty, conflict, and inequalities. In short, the Summit of the Future highlighted the need for renewed global commitment and concrete actions to rescue and accelerate the achievement of this global agenda of justice and sustainability, with structural reforms in international governance and greater involvement of all actors, including regional governments, local governments, and civil society. During these days, we have also recognized that many of the challenges identified in Addis Ababa agenda persist. Now we have a unique opportunity. The fourth conference of Financing for Development in Seville offers us the opportunity to update and reaffirm the global commitments to local and regional government. This must be a turning point in redesigning the foundations and global financing with a sustainable and equitable vision. But none of these goals can be achieved with a strong partnership and a firm global commitment. Collaboration is key to unlock the potential of local and regional governments because, as I said, it is we who are on the front line, responding to the needs of communities, convening with them and transforming public policies into real and tangible outcomes, making the social pact a reality, and strengthening the legitimacy of democracies through the legitimacy of results. Some people refer to the last Monday as a Blue Monday. It seems that there is even scientific foundations for affirming that. It seems even a blue January, and it can be a blue 2025, according to the recent international events. Certainly, international order, democracy, and fundamental rights are under threat, as it is multilateralism. Some call it the ancient regime. We believe that multilateralism, international solidarity, and cooperation is the only just, fair, and sustainable possible regime. And we need it to strengthen it, renew it, make it deliver so it can be our future regime. Catalonia is committed to contribute it to make it more effective and inclusive and closer and understandable for citizens. Let me close celebrating these inspiring and action-oriented 2 days of reflection in Barcelona, this welcoming and diverse Mediterranean city that I hope you will have enough time to enjoy. And let me close insisting in our commitment, complicity, and strong conviction that we are in the right side of the story. And we will see you in Seville. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Marcos. Thank you, Andrea. And thank you all. And we'll close there. Thank you.